Hello and welcome guys, ArmaganVideos here. Today's tutorial is all about material design and we are going to create assets, and actually we are going to create a material design app screen itself. We're going to make a little YouTube kind of app showing a channel with some details around it or below it, and yeah, you're going to see it later on. But first of all, let me show you the documentation about material design and what it actually is. And yeah, it's basically just like flat design, very flat colors, not that much textures, but with a little difference, because actual layers have depth. That means that those layers can't intersect each other, and they're also having like those shadows that you can see right here due to its depth. And yeah, in this documentation of Google, you can find everything from animation, styles, colors, as you can see right here, just like our very loved flatUIcolors.com webpage. You can find here all the hex codes for each colors that you can use when using material design by Google, also the layout principles and stuff like that, and how it should look like. And during this tutorial, we are going to grab some colors from this color palette right here. As you can see, you can also download the swatches for, I don't know which applications, but it should work for everything. Maybe it's a PNG or so. And yeah, let's hop right into Photoshop and or Illustrator, because today we are also going to use Illustrator again to create some icons, because I really don't like working with vectors in Photoshop, since it's still a very pixel-based application and everything kind of doesn't look that sharp when you're zooming in and stuff. So, yeah, first of all, I've already imported my logo that we're going to use later on, or you can use yours or any pictures. And I've made some side notes from the documentation, and I want our document to be 1000 pixel by 1750 pixel big. The top bar, yeah, I'm going to explain this later on. So let's create a new document, 1795 pixel. And I've written top bar 40 pixel. All right, so let's double click on our background to unlock it. Then create on this little icon right here. Go to solid color. And now let's go to the Google documentation and let's grab a color. Okay, for the top bar, I guess we are going to use, as you can see here is also the depth level shown. And I'm going to use something like 600, and I'm going to grab this hex code. Control C, go into Photoshop, paste it in, just like that. Press Control T. Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah. Let's zoom in and drag out a rectangle while having our selection tool right here. Drag out a rectangle that's exactly 40 pixel big. As you can see, there's a little H saying 40 pixel. That's exactly what we want. Just release the mouse button. Now click on the solid color and paste in our color, and there you go. Perfect rectangle with 40 pixel over the whole width of our document size. Now I'm going to copy this one, bring this down while holding down Alt. You're going to make a copy. Press Control T, and you can see the age again. And this time we want 100 pixels. And we also need to grab our color again. And this time the top color, that's this one. Go back. Click on here to change the color, and that's a pretty convenient way, or a pretty fast way of actually working with colored backgrounds. You can just click on here, change the color to whatever you want pretty fast, instead of just using like a rectangle, using the brush tool and then drawing in it or stuff like that. That's like the pretty amateurish way. We are going to use those solid color layers right here. Or actually, you're not limited. There are unlimited options in Photoshop and applications like that. So Now let's continue with our actual icons for the material design layout here. And therefore we're going to hop into Illustrator and create the same document just like as in Photoshop. So we don't have any stress later on importing and exporting it. And yeah, first of all, we need the wireless LAN connection symbol or icon. And that's pretty basic. We're going to grab ellipse, drag this out. Shift X to kind of interchange the colors right here. Make sure we don't have any full color. Control C, Control F. Now shrink this one down. Just like that. Give it another color. And what we need to do to actually see our icons later on, because they're going to be white, zoom out one more time. Create a new layer, bring it down, grab our rectangle tool and drag out a huge background layer. Give it a light gray color, something like this. Lock it so we're not going to move anything here. Now let's focus back on our wireless LAN icon. Therefore, we're going to make the inside white and the outside is going to be also white, but with a 30% transparency. Change it to white, don't forget it. And what we need to do now is subtract a shape from it that's kind of rotated on a 45-degree angle. And if you imagine it, wait, I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring this over. Now you can see here, if we subtract those shapes from this circle, you're going to see that we're going to get the wireless LAN icon. And that's like a pretty cool way to get all those icons. So press Ctrl C while having this selected. Select this shape, subtract it. Now press Ctrl F again, delete it from this shape, just like this. Same with this one right here. Select those, delete it. Oops, made a mistake. This shape and this shape, subtract. Oh, I know the problem. That's because this one has to be in front, because we are minus fronting it from our shape, just like that. Same again with this shape right here. But maybe I need to switch into the outline mode so we can drag this, subtract this one, and that's awesome. Now we just need to delete those anchor points, and whoops, we got our wireless LAN icon perfectly matched up, 45 degrees angles to the sides, and yeah. Control C, hop into Photoshop, Control V, Smart Object, bring it in. And now the only problem is that we need to resize it properly. Fine, there we go. Maybe a bit smaller. Just like this. And let's check. This is our navigation. Always make sure you're renaming everything well. That's our top bar, navigation. Let's delete this one. Go to solid color, make it completely white, drag it down, call this background. This is our VLAN icon, WLAN icon. Well, okay, let's continue with the 3G icon. That's the basic same approach. We're going to use a rectangle, delete the top left anchor point, and now we have this shape. Let's see if we can close this. We're going to click here. Oops, I've deleted it. Yeah, okay, it's already closed then. And bring it down to 30% transparency. Go to Control C, Control F, and hold down Shift while dragging the top left anchor point down. It perfectly constrains its proportions. And now let's crank up the transparency again. There you go, finished. That's it for the 3G icon. pretty basic. Let's drag this down just like our wireless LAN icon. Bring this over here. And now we need to make our battery icon. This one's a bit more complex, but also pretty basic. You're going to get a battery like this. Control C, Control F. Oops, this time don't hold down Shift, just drag this top portion down. Make sure that this is again on 30%. And I guess we've made a little mistake. Oh no, it's completely white. Maybe I should crank up the... Yeah. And now what we need to do is grab another shape, bring it on top of this one, make sure it's perfectly centered to the middle. Bring this up. Maybe I'm just going to center it using our tools right here. Yeah, it's perfectly centered. Also bring this one down to 30%, select both, unite them, and if you don't have the Pathfinder, so you can go to Window, Pathfinder, or just press Shift, Command and F9. And there we go, our battery icon, finished. Drag this into Photoshop as a smart object again, hold down Shift and Alt, and drag it down. Make sure to bring it to the same size as our other icons. Whoops, there we go. And drag it to the left. Now let's rename this. This is our 3G icon, or whatever G. LTE battery icon. And now we need to get the font from Android L, or that's used by Google for the Android operating systems for like Android 4.4, stuff like that. So the font is called Roboto. You can download it for free from the internet somewhere. Just Google it. And let's type in the actual time. It's this one right here. Let's make sure to bring it to the... Oh, it's perfectly that size. Maybe not perfect, but... Okay. Bring it around here. Just like that. And maybe we should grab everything. Make it a bit smaller. Just like that. Bring this over here. Grab the icons. Bring them a bit to the left. And there we go. Looks a bit small actually. Maybe we have to increase it later on, but that's not a problem because we are working with vector graphics. You can scale them down, scale them up. They will look sharp always, and that's why I really like working with vectors at all. So yeah, I also think this is a bit too big. But if we shrink it down and zoom out, it looks too small, so we need to do some adjustments later on. But that's not the problem right now. Okay, so let's continue with the assets. That's it for the top bar pretty much. We can continue with the assets now, and that's basically the buttons itself. So I'm just going to create those buttons in Photoshop because this time we will save time right here. And we're going to drag out a button with our rectangle tool selected. Zoom in. And we give it a... Yeah, I actually don't know if there's a rounding going on. I guess it's a little bit, maybe like 1 pixel. Let's check this out. Okay, you can't tell the difference then. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2 to 3 pixel. Very slight rounding going on there. Okay, and let's change its color to... Actually, let's change the background color at first, not too white. We're going to make it a light gray, very light. Something like this. And this one is going to be changed to white. There we go. And now let's grab our font again. Type in button. Change the color. Maybe we can find something. Let's see. Style, layout, components, buttons. There we go. As you can see, flat buttons. but I can't find any color codes right here. Maybe let's check out style, color, and let's see if there's a gray. I guess something like this one should do the trick. Copy it, go into Photoshop, change its color, just like that. Now a cool trick, hold down Command while dragging on this icon right here, then you're going to get the selecting or the edges selected, and make sure you have your button text selected. Now go to press V to get the move tool and then align, and there we go, perfectly aligned to the middle. Okay, there's our button. Now what I want to do is shrink down the text a bit more. And now we need to get the significant shadow from material design. Let's call this button real quick and put this into a group. Also those ones. Top bar icons. And click on this shape. And now let's see. Give it a drop shadow, of course, but put the distance to 0 pixel. And let's see how it should look like. Well, we need to strengthen up the opacity a bit. Maybe if we give it 9%, bring down the distance a bit. So it looks kind of more strong on this side than on the bottom, stronger than on the top. And maybe we gave it too much. Yeah, that looks fine. You can just copy the shadow options right there, but maybe we should also increase the darkness here. See how this looks? That looks totally fine to me. There we go, our button. Now we're going to make the same one. Just hold down Alt while dragging it to the right. And now this time we're going to get our blue button. As you can see, we go to components, buttons. I want this blue right here. Sadly, I don't have a color picker right now on OS X installed, so I'm just going to search for the color right here. Yeah, now I could also make a screenshot and import it, but way too much of a hassle right now. I'll just grab the color from here and do it manually. Okay, change this color to white. And there we go. 2 easy buttons created. Let's rename this button, parentheses, blue. There we go, 2 buttons. Center them in the middle. I'm just going to leave them like, I'm just going to leave it in the document. We're going to use them later on when we're actually creating our app screen later on, but now I don't want to use them, so yeah. Okay. I think we should also continue with our navigation, since I forgot to actually put icons on here. I've just started with the buttons. So yeah, for the navigation it's pretty easy. We're just going to use those, change the fill color to white, those, excuse me, to those little lines right here that are going to show that it's an actual menu. So hold down Shift while having layer selected and clicking on the folder icon down right here to put everything in a folder that's selected, and call it menu actually. So just bring this right around here. Maybe we could select this one again. Oops, wrong button. And center it to the middle. Drag it a bit to the right. Just like that. See how it looks. Maybe it's a bit too thick. So we could actually change the thickness of them. Something like this should do the trick. 5 pixels wide and 5 pixels spacing in between them. Yeah, this looks fine. And same stuff again. Select the navigation, menu, center it, perfect. And now I need to put some text on here. Maybe call it like profile. We're going to use robot or regular again. Just make sure that it's lining up pretty much to the middle. Drag it a bit more to the right. And there we go. Maybe we should also try light. Yeah, that's everything kind of personal preference, or it's actually not preferred preference because Google has some pretty great guidelines right here. And you can look this up. You can go through all of this and be the master of material design. Although I'm not the biggest fan of material design, it looks pretty good to me, but I don't like the idea of having depth and shadows. I really like just going with flat design, because I'm really a big fan of flat design, and material design just kind of copied its name, added a bit of strength or strong guidelines to it and published it. So it still looks pretty good. So, okay. What happened to our blue button? Did I just redo something? Well, I hope I have the color still copied. Oops, misclicked. Okay, weird. Better make sure to save your work. So, material design tutorial, and call this all right. There we go. Next up, we're going to make this little settings icon right there. Therefore, we're also just going to use the ellipse tool. Hold down Alt and Shift while dragging out a little ellipse. Make sure that you change the color to white. Maybe it's set here. Oh, I've just created this shape in the wrong layer. So make a new layer. Also, that's why that's why I don't like working with vectors. It's not making separate vectors, it's putting them in different layers, as you can see right here, and that's just not my type of working with vectors. So drag this down again, 5 pixels, those two, those three, and group them up again, and let's name them settings icon. Drag them to the right, just like that. What the hell is happening with our blue button right here? I don't seem to get it. It's kind of like magic. I'm zooming in and whoops, it's white again. Well, okay, this looks fine. Yeah, that's it actually for the navigation bar. So let's focus on our assets again. And therefore, let me quickly check what I did right here on my tablet. All right, we're going to focus on checkboxes now. Therefore, open our lovely Illustrator again. I'm not going to do these in Photoshop, or because we're going to use the Pathfinder from Illustrator, which is pretty strong and a great tool, and I don't want to miss it while working in Photoshop with subtract modes and stuff like that. It's not good actually, I don't like it. Press Ctrl X. We're going to make the checkbox now, select this one. And many of you asked me in other tutorials, why don't you have this blue, circles right here? And that's because I'm using the very latest version of Illustrator. I don't know which one it is now, because I get daily updates and stuff like that, but this came in with like Illustrator CC 17.01 or stuff like that. If you're not having it, upgrade it, and yeah, that's a pretty simple thing. Okay, let's drag this in and make them a bit round. Just like this. Also, I want to give it our gray color from, oops, just switched it. I want to give it our gray color from here. I don't know though which one we've chosen now. Maybe I just look at Photoshop, press I to get the tool, get the hex code, go into here, double click, paste, there we go. Okay, maybe we need to make it even darker. Something like this. And we could also try to increase the stroke to like 2. Copy it, or actually let's just continue with making our other checkboxes. Therefore we want to press Ctrl Shift again. And now we want to make a checkbox that got ticked. Therefore I'm going to make a little tick right there. Rotate this to, make a copy of it first. Then rotate this to 45 degrees. This also. Bring it in here so it's perfectly intersecting. And drag this one out. Just like that. Little tick. And now you can just bring this in here. I don't know if we should round it up because everything is so small. I guess it looks better. Something like this. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the documentation again and grab this green color that's used for the checkboxes. I don't know if it's this color right here. Let's just try it and see how it works. Oh, misclicked again. There you go, and subtract this shape from this one. And whoops, there we go. Little checkbox that got ticked. And now you can see this one is actually smaller. So let's drag this out accordingly. Of course, you can pay way more attention on the details and stuff like that, but that should be good for now. Okay, let's continue with our radio button. Therefore, we're going to drag out a circle, give it the color of this one. Now we have the problem that if you use the eyedropper on this kind of shape, it's going to use the same color for the stroke and not for the fill color. So press Ctrl Shift X to invert it. Or actually no, so it was right, yeah. Increase the stroke to weight. That's it for our basic radio button. Now drag this to the right, give it this color, Ctrl C again, increase the weight again. And now Ctrl C, Ctrl F, hold down Shift and Alt while dragging this in, press Ctrl X, and there we go. It ticked radio button or checked. And yeah, that's it for the buttons. And while we're just in Illustrator, we can also continue with the sliders and stuff like that. Oops, just going to drag this to the left side. And yeah, for the sliders, it's pretty much the same. We're just going to drag out a little rectangle. Oh, actually, I'm going to show you the way by using the pen tool. Hold down Shift while dragging out something like this. And now make sure to check round cap. So you get this cool looking round cap right here. Then just drag this circle, bring it to this end, make it a bit bigger, arrange, bring to front. And that's basically a material design slider. Pretty basic, huh? You also just need to change the color here. Oopsie whoops. Press Shift X because I've chosen this color right here again, and now you need to change the cap again. There we go. Drag this down. Bring this over here. And give it this color. And this one, this color. Around cap again. But this time you can see we can't delete it since, well, we could delete it by transforming or by expanding this shape and expanding this shape, then subtracting this inner shape from our path right here, but that's way too much of a hassle. Just grab your path, press C to get the scissors tool. Click right on this path and you can see it separated it. Select this part of the path, delete it. There you go. Pretty basic slider. Also, I think I need to decrease the color right here, as the guidelines want it just like that. There you go. Or two sliders, or checkboxes, or radio buttons. And yeah, let's import them into Photoshop. And next up, we're going to make the add buttons. Okay, just grab this one and bring it into Photoshop. This one. Okay, there we go. Let's zoom out, grab all of them. See which this one is. Green slider. This one is our gray slider. Unchecked radio button. Check radio button. And checked checkbox. And unchecked checkbox. Of course, you are going to find all these in the description and on my free downloads section on ArmaganVideos on Facebook. Make sure to like that, so I can provide more and more freebies for you guys. Radio button, bring it over here. And the checkbox to the right, this one to the left. You see I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And yeah, okay, let's group this up. Call them buttons and sliders. By the way, I'm just going to show you how to design all these assets for material design, and to show you how to create them actually, and so that you're aware of what Google actually did. Of course, you can just go to Google, type in material design, free PSD, user interface, or stuff like that, and you're going to find I don't know, thousands of entries about free material design, user interface, graphics and stuff like that. So you don't need to design them all by yourself, but it's always way better to understand how something worked than just downloading it from the internet. And yeah, that's why I'm showing you how to create all this right here. And yeah, so that's enough for those interface things right here. Now let's concentrate on the add buttons. And therefore I'm just going to get a pretty big button. I need the color from Google again. I don't know which color they used. There was a pretty strong yellow and a pretty strong blue. So it must be kind of something like this. Grab this, bring it in, change the color of it. Bring this to the right, get the blue. Where do we have it? It was more like in cyan. Something like this. Yeah, perfect. This one is also smaller. And now we need to add a little plus on them. Just like this. Bring it right in the middle. Make it bigger and make it even darker. All right, now drag this over here, make this one smaller. And now you can use my little trick again. Hold down Command while clicking on this icon right here. Get your plus sign, select it and center it to the middle. Same with the other plus, just like this. And the special thing about those buttons right here is that they have those shadows from the buttons actually. And therefore we're just going to go to button, hold down Alt while clicking on this FX and dropping it on our ellipse right here. Also on this one. And let's increase the drop shadow actually a bit. The distance. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. This one right here. Drop shadow, distance, bring it down a bit more. And okay, maybe that's way too much. It should also be seen on at the top. So maybe we should increase the spread and the size. Now we can give it 1 pixel down, or even 2. Let's check this out. And bring this to 40%. And now let's drag this one over to this. Okay, there we go, our buttons. Let's grab this and this and put it in a group. Yellow add button. Same with this. Blue add button. Okay, great. I'm going to bring this a bit more to the left, just like this. And this is basically all about interface design. You're going to create interface. You're going to export this one or all of these to PNGs and Retina graphics like PNG X2 and X2, and the programmer is going to use it to animate it and stuff like that, code it so it's actually usable. And yeah, that's all about the user interface design. Okay, next up we're going to create a little search bar, another set of sliders, and yeah, what should we create also? Maybe like, yeah, a tab bar, a search bar, and that should be it then. And then I'm going to show you how we are going to create this little material design app screen actually. So yeah. Let's start with the tab bar because it's pretty basic. Therefore, I'm just going to use this shape from here. Okay, now I just need to drag this navigation down, so make sure you select it. Hold down Alt while dragging it down. Way more. Okay. Press Ctrl T, hold down Alt while dragging this in. Let's change the color to white. Zoom in. And now we need our text again. Tab 1, change this to regular. Tab 1, hold down Alt while dragging this over, change this to 2. And this to 3. And material design uses a specific type of hover effect, or showing where you actually are right now. That's basically a little rectangle showing or implying by color on which tab you are right now. So give it a color. Let's go on here, get our blue again. Control C, go over here, paste this in, just like this. And therefore make sure that if you're having all 3 of these, that it should end the tab. Okay, as you can see, that's too much. So grab this shape right here, bring it over. Now you can delete those since we just want one, and select all of them, or shape, and now let's distribute them. group it, center them. There we go. Perfect. That's it for our tab so far. It really depends on if you're using shadow right now here on this one, since if this is going to be a top element over here, you're not going to use shadows. You're just going to use shadows on elements that are going to interact with the user actually, or that are like far more, how should I say it? Yeah, if like a pop-up pops up, it's way more in the Z, so it's near to the user. So you have to bring it like really in front instead of the other shapes that are in the background. So kind of hard to explain, since or it's actually not that hard. You're having different levels of layers. Yeah, that's perfect. We're having different layers of, or levels of layers, and imagine this one being level 0. This one's level 1, and then on top of it there's a layer level 2 that's having a very strong shadow and kind of implying that it's at the top of every other layer. So yeah, I guess that should work for an explanation. Or just go to the documentation of Google. Just go to Google, type in material design. You're going to find this page pretty new, pretty at the top. Maybe I can show you objects in 3D space. Yeah, perfect. As you can see here, you can read about the shadow effect and that the layers have a specific depth to it. Here, floating action button. As you can see, it's kind of floating, just like that. And Google is using those DP right here, so it's kind of the same for every device you are using. And yeah, I'm just going to show you how to kind of create those icons and stuff like that for your own projects. So let's call this tab, center it. Oh, did a mistake. Because all of this is tab. Okay. And what we need to do now is create our search bar. And since we've already created almost every single asset, of course there's plenty more of them, but of course we created some of these. We can create the search bar pretty fast. We just need to add the search icon again and the microphone for Google Now. So let's just grab the whole tab right here, bring this down, go to our navigation, open our button, hold down Alt while dragging this FX down to our navigation, just like this. And now let's rename this to search, delete the other two text thingies, also get rid of our hover state color implying layer. And let's drag this one to the left and give it a more light color. And what we need to add, because some of you may know Android pretty great, there's this little magnifying glass right here and this voice activation icon over here. So we're going to create them in Illustrator again, bring them into Photoshop and finish up our search bar. As you can see, once you've created one of these assets, it's pretty easy to create the other ones. So, well, here we are back in Illustrator. Oops. Zoom out even more. And to create a magnifying glass, we can just drag down this shape and get our path again, our pen tool again. Make something like this. Get it, rotate it by 45 degrees while holding down Shift. Just like that. Drag this in while holding down Shift 2. There we go. Pretty quick and easy magnifying glass. Although we should maybe drag this in a bit. Something like this should be fine. Let's see how it performs in our search bar. Maybe it's a bit too thin. Looks really thin actually. If you make it smaller. Yeah, way too thin. So increase this by 3 or even 4. Maybe we should also decrease this circle. Something like this. There we go. This will be fine. It's always a bit more on top. Although I like it centered, so I'm just going to leave it like this. And now we need to create the microphone icon. Therefore, I'm going to drag out a rectangle, round it up completely, change it. And now we need to make a ellipse from right around here. It should be perfect. Press C, clicking on here and clicking on here. Now you have this single shape, just delete it. There you go. Now we have this one right here. Increase the, let's see which weight we've had here, 4 pixels, that's perfect. So let's also bring this in here. Maybe shrink it down though, just like this. And make sure that we are going to have round caps, just like that. Now let's bring this up. And we just need to add our pen tool again from here to there. But this will have no round caps. There you go, quick and easy microphone. And maybe we could even bring this. No, it looked fine just like that. Maybe bring this down a bit more. Grab this whole shape, go into Photoshop, Smart Object, paste it in, make it smaller, bring it over here, just like that. And there you can see our search bar is finished. And if you're not happy with the shadows that you can see right here, because I know Android has some pretty specific shadow settings going on right there, you can just tweak them really. Go into your thing right here, into your drop shadow. You can increase the opacity, you can make the spread and the size bigger, just like this, then drag it down, decrease the opacity again, and it should look something like this, but I'm really happy with this one right here, so yeah. Okay, since we've copied this, we also need to rename this, and this is our search bar. Let me quickly check what I've wanted to create with you. Okay, only thing missing is something like a drop-down menu and a pop-up. Then we are finished and we're going to create our own app screen. Okay, there we go. Let's bring this up again. Just like this. And now let's create our drop-down menu. Okay, therefore, same stuff again. Who thought about it, or who thought it? We're just going to get the search bar, drop it down. This time we are going to hold on Alt while dragging something like this out. Press OK. All right, there we go. Now grab the search, bring it over here, and call this one like select. Also, this color is a bit darker again. And And we don't need to switch to Illustrator to create this little icon right here, but I'm just going to make it in Photoshop. There you go. Like a little drop down. Oops. Little drop down. How's it called again? Drop down arrow. There we go. Make it smaller. Bring it up. Maybe get those two. Also this one. 1, 2. There we go. And now we just need to grab this one. Bring it down. Item 1. Bring this down again. 47 pixel spacing. Item 2. Item 3. And for those 3 we need to brighten up the color again. And I also need to decrease the size of this drop thingy again. And to actually show which one got selected or is selected right now, we're going to make a little box. And therefore I'm just going to grab it roughly from right around here with our selection tool. Go to solid color. Press OK with this color selected right here. Decrease the opacity, maybe 40 is doing well, and right click, create clipping mask, so if something kind of goes out of range, it's still in there, so there's no problem going on. And that's it for our drop down menu basically. So just like this one, we also need to get rid of these icons that we still have in here from the search bar. And where do we have them? This one and this one. Grab both. Get rid of them. And there we go. Save this out. Perfect. Okay, the next thing is that we're going to create a pop-up, and the special thing about this is that just the shadow is a bit stronger, and that's basically it. So again, we can make a copy out of our drop-down menu. Just like this, and we just need item 1 and select. You can call this something like pop-up. This time we need to make this medium. Just like that. I also need to get rid of this one. Drag out a text box, go to type. Paste lorem ipsum. It's kind of just a placeholder text. Bring this down to auto. So decrease the size of the text and bring this again to light. Also get rid of our selection thingy. And now we need to grab this one. Drag it out a bit. Make sure that the text is perfectly aligning. Delete the rest of the text. Oops. Well, I'm just going to quickly drag this out and see how far the text is going. Oh. That's the good thing about Latin. No one understands it, so you can just add a text right here and put a point behind it or a full stop. And it still looks very intelligent. So yeah. And now we also need to get rid of the arrow. But we need the text of our buttons, because down there we are going to use those buttons again. Just while clicking on this one right here, hold on Alt and dragging it in our pop-up right there. Drag this down and call this maybe deny. bring it over, call this accept, and press T, click on here, grab this color, press OK, and there you go. As you can see, our pop-up needs to get adjusted a bit because the text is way too small. So I'm going to get rid of a bit more text right here. Increase the size to, whoa, that's way too much, 10. Also grab this, bring it down, get our two buttons kind of, decrease the size of those, and let's bring deny over, just like that. And that's it for our pop-up. Of course, you don't need to forget, shouldn't forget our increased shadow for the pop-up, because that's really in front of the three-dimensional layer space that I've showed you in the documentary right here, in the 3D space. So it's very far in front, and it has to have a very strong shadow right there. So I'm just going to increase the shadow, also the distance, just like that. If you're imagining now this pop-up being right in front of everything else, just like that, it's really that's the point of material design. You can really realistically see that this is in front of all the other shapes without intersecting them, and this is why it looks pretty good. Okay, so now I've showed you how to create all those assets, and from there on you can just Google material design app, or special things like YouTube app material design, and you can find examples and recreate them. Now you know how to create those buttons, checkboxes, add buttons, tab sections, search bars, drop-down menus, pop-ups, and stuff like that. So now let's really hop right into the thing and create our own little app, actually, because I don't want to expand the time any further. And therefore, I'm just going to use some of those right here. Let me just quickly drag this out. Grab, I need the menu. I need profile, settings icon. I don't need the add button. Those. Top bar icons, pop up, drop down, search bar, tab. I will bring all those over here. And now let's type in ArmaganVideos. I'm going to make like a little YouTube app, and therefore I'm going to use my own color. That's this one right here. Go to navigation, paste this one in, go to top bar. Drag down the color a bit though, so it kind of is different. And okay, now I'm going to go to Freebie Express real quick, because I need some stock images. Explore, stock photos. Well, this will do well, I guess. Just download it pretty quick. There we have it. Now let's import it into our Photoshop document right here. And I need to shrink it down, as you can tell. So align it over here. Now hold down Shift while dragging the top bottom right anchor point. Make sure it lines up perfectly, as you can see right there. And now I'm going to create a selection. Make a clipping mask. then release this linked thingy right here. Check our image, drag this up to right around here. And now I need to change our clipping mask also. Therefore, I'm just going to make it like somewhere around here. Grab a black brush, increase the size, and just get rid of this one. As you can see right here, I've just drawn over it. So now we can move this image without having further problems. Oh, as you can see, I need to remove this one here too. So just make it like this. Grab our image, and now I can drag it right around here without it leaving our set proportions. Okay, that's it for the background. Maybe let's darken it up a bit. Go to solid color, black, right click, create clipping mask, bring down the fill, something like this. And now let's drag out a circle. Oops. Bring this circle right to the middle. This circle right to the middle. And what I need to do now is grab my logo, apply image, then move to new window. Where did it go? Oh, I moved the false one. Show all windows. This one, drag it in again. Show all windows. This, and throw this one in here. Now right click, create clipping mask. Control T to shrink this down, of course. And kinda bring in my layer like here. Okay, now we can see we're having a little problem. That's easily solved by giving our ellipse my background color right there. There we go. And now we can just grab our text from here, bring it over. As you can see, the color doesn't look too good, so I'm just going to increase it to white. And you can make like, I guess I'm going to hit 8 or 9, yeah, 8,000 subscribers today. So I'm just going to, or make it like this. Bring it down here. Bring this to the right while holding down Shift so it stays on one line. And just like this. Okay, pretty great start actually. So now let's continue with creating our little section right there with our little app. Okay, let's drag this one out, bring it way down behind our layers. As you can see, having some little issues right there, but that's easily fixed by dragging this out just like this. And I want to make it even darker, something like this. Maybe drag it down a bit more. Grab this text right here, bring it over. Make this even darker. Just like this. Get rid of it, go to type, paste lorem ipsum. It's still pretty lighten. So maybe bring it to regular. Also increase the size to around 12. Maybe that's also too much text. So, well, drag this down. Still way too small, as you can see. So bring this up to 15, just like that. And also we need to increase our spacing. There's also a guideline from Google there on how much spacing you should use. Well, let's bring this up, type in ArmaganVideos. And now that's the problem, that we are using a text box right here. It's not going to be perfectly centered, so wait, I'm just going to make it like this. Increase it, change it to medium, and yeah, we are slowly going to get our little app idea that I have in my mind, like showing a YouTube profile in material design. And yeah, although the gray here is way too strong, like really way too strong. So let's make it like this. Also drag down this text a bit further. And we're having this whole space right here to kind of showcase our videos, our latest videos. So what we could do now is use our tab bar right here. So now let's, where is it? Tab. Bring it over, see how it performs. And what we need to do now is kind of increase the size, just like that. Make sure that it's perfectly adjusted. There we go. And since everything is orange here, we need to change this one to orange too. And now we can rename this to videos. This one could be info. And this one, settings maybe. Still not pleased with the color of our background right there. Ah, that's because this one isn't completely white, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And now we can use actual images right here to showcase our videos. And I'm going to do it like this. I just need to grab another set of images real quick. Let's see, grab this one, and this, download them real quick. Can we actually download this? Well, however, right click, save image to downloads, wait until this one is finished, grab maybe this image, download, right click, save image. This takes a long time, but let's continue. And don't forget, you can download all this in the description, so you're having not that kind of a struggle while creating those. That's pretty much the ultimate tutorial to material design right here. So let's see. Well, let's grab this image in here. Also this one. Let's select both, shrink them down. Just like that. And what I want to do now is give this shape here a depth. Oh wait, I'm going to show you real quick. Where do we have it? This one. Let's go to our button. drag down this FX on this one again while holding down Shift. And as you can see, it's kind of not intersecting. That's because it's not in front of our other shape. Oh, little problem right here. Let's see if I drag this down. As you can see, there's this white shape going on right here from our tab. And that means we need to drag down this tab just like this. And I want to increase the shadow a bit. Something like this. Okay, great. And as you can see, it's kind of going over our borders right here, but that's not a problem because in the end we're using the crop tool to cut it off the edge and you're getting rid of those shadows right there. So yeah. Now let's focus on our images. Therefore, I need to get our guidelines, get our selection tool, kind of drag something like this out. Create a new layer with a color that doesn't really matter. And now grab your image, bring it over this one, right click, create clipping mask, and it's perfectly matched up right there. Do the same with the other image, just delete this one, bring it over, create clipping mask, just like this. Now you can get rid of the guidelines again because now you can see them. And now we need to add something like another color background right here, give it a shadow and give our images some shadows. Maybe we could also decrease those. Wait, let me just quickly grab this and bring it down to 9.8. Apply. Also this one. Control T, 9.8. Oops, always missing a 0. Apply. Now grab this drop shadow again. Oops, what did I do? Where am I right now? Grab this drop shadow, hold down Alt and drag it over here and over there. Now you can see we have a shadow right here. And the only thing we need to do now is grab this, bring it down, extend it to the bottom, drag it even further down. Now let's grab a cool color. Just like that. Or maybe let's leave it white because our tab bar right here is also white. So we could also maybe get rid of it because we don't need it then. And I'm just going to bring out everything that we don't need anymore in another, move to new window. So now let's grab, we don't need the blue buttons and slider, this one, top bar, pop up, drop, search. Do I have everything? Oh, somehow got the text right in there. Okay, then I need to leave this one and this button, I guess. Let me check. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to leave it like this and cut it off. I'm going to make it perfect later on for you guys when you're downloading it, but I just want to show you how it looks when you cut this off right here. So you can see perfect looking material design attempt actually, and maybe we should decrease those fonts right here because they look way too big. There you go. Something like this. And where do we have this one? Bring this up. Where do we have this? Just like that. And here you can add a bit more of information like about the video right here, like the length, or even I'm going to show you, I'm going to finish this now so you have a perfect example of how it should look like. And what I want to add also down here is the location of where I'm from. So I'm going to make this little location icon from Google. That's basically just a rectangle where this anchor point is dragged down. And get the pen tool, hold down Alt while clicking on here. Get this shape just like that and subtract it. Okay, that's a bit too small. So what we can do here is just grab those anchor points and increase the size. There you go. As you can see, this isn't perfect around right here, but that should be fine. So let's bring this into Photoshop. Just like that. Maybe it's a bit too big. Then you grab this one, bring it down, type in something like maybe that's also too much text right here. Okay. Where did I put this icon now? Look, that's the problem if everything got messed up and you got like pretty much 200 layers of different icons and stuff like that going on in your layers panel. You can't really find them, so let's see if I can search for smart objects. It's not showing it now. Well, okay. I'm going to get rid of this one. And now we should also kind of line this up right here with our tab bar. Where do we have it? Tab. Oh. Okay. Here it is. Although it doesn't look too good. Let's group this up. Center it. Also give it a way lighter color. Grab this color code. Give it our San Francisco text, just like this. Since it's grouped, we can now center it perfectly to the middle. Just like this. Now let's finish up our tab bar right here. Where do we have it? Where do we have it? Oh, that's our pop-up. Where's the tab again? Here we have it. Let's drag this to the right. Just like this. And maybe, just maybe, we should try to give this even a little... Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to grab this background image right here, bring it down to make this a separate section of our app, so the user actually can see that this is a moving part right here. And yeah, and I want to make this look like. Okay, let's see where we get those images at first, because I want to finish that first. Well, here are our images. So let's finally group this. Video section. And go over here, solid color, black. Right click, create clipping mask. Decrease it by around 50%. Drag this down to this image, create clipping mask. And now you can put on text over here. For example, this one, drag this down again. Make it white though. Saying something like, just like this. So it looks like kind of a playlist. Bring this to the middle. Drag it up again, and maybe I should leave the color like this, the transparency like this, but decrease the color just like this. And yeah, we're almost there. I'm just going to drag this background down to finish up this section right here and make it look good. Then I'm going to add a background to kind of make this a separate section, and then we're ready to go. Alright, so let's find this background right here. I guess it's behind our text somewhere. Maybe not. Let's check this out. It's not in here, it's not in here. It's also not this one, so it must be this, right. Okay, let's grab it, bring it down. And you can see that our text is underneath it. So let's bring it up. Get rid of the background that's in there. This one. Alright, perfect. Let's grab this tab thingy, drag it down until it matches. Just like this. Let's take a look on how it performs if we kinda... Oh, wrong tab selected. If we bring this in. No, it doesn't look too good. Okay, then we need to expand this shape right here. Bring this up one more time. It's this one right here. Oops. So let's drag this in. Just like this. You could add separators right in here, but that should be enough now. And I want to add a slight background underneath those images right here. So where do I have to start? I guess here. Create a new layer. Drag down something from right around here until this image. Solid color. Okay, that worked. And now let's give it a slight color right there. And there we go. Our material design attempt, not the best one, because there, of course, you have to spend way more time on this one. This is just basically, especially app design, has a lot of details going in, like animations, icons, perfect text. Especially for when you're developing for iOS or stuff like this, or designing especially. And yeah, Wait, let me just see if I can drop, where do we have it? Navigation. Okay, this one, I want to bring this up a bit. Bring this down a bit more. Drag this down. And this ArmaganVideos and the settings icon needs to be dragged down too. Just like this. And now I need the navigation. Where do we have it? Navigation, where are you? Not navigation, top bar. Those are the icons. I can drag them down. Let's see if I get rid of all these. Okay, it's still not there, so it must be this one, right? Extend it, just like this. Let's enable everything again. And there we go, finished. Really like the outcome, looks clean and simple. Pretty much, I hope you learned a lot in this tutorial, like icon creation, the material design guidelines, shadows for it, creating the different assets and stuff like that. And it's a really long tutorial, but of course the struggle going through all this really pays off in the end. Then you're just really, you know the latest trends then, and you know how to work with Photoshop and Illustrator and combine them two to create awesome, great looking designs. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Comment, like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. ArmaganVideos.